Welcome to I Learned a Thing in the Bathroom from Dollar Shave Club, where we explain something very complicated in mere minutes to occupy your brain while you shave. In this edition, we'll be discussing history's worst hangover cures, as explained by someone who sounds smart because he's British.
And before we begin, help me, please. I think I may be dying.
Let me start by saying that people all through history have struggled with the problem of how to cure their hangovers. And so far, the only 100% effective solution is simply don't get drunk.
You are both unhelpful and a terrible person who hates joy and life itself.
This is all true. However, if you're really desperate, let's take a look at some of the more extreme hangover cures that different cultures have endorsed over the centuries. First up, raw owl eggs and sheep lungs.
You son of a...
You can blame Pliny the Elder for that one, an author, naturalist, and military commander in the early Roman Empire. He also believed that eating a whole fried canary would help a hangover, and advocated avoiding hangovers altogether by lining the stomach before drinking, with roasted sheep's intestines.
Pliny the Elder is both unhelpful and a terrible person who hates joy and life itself.
Indeed. Talking of terrible things, the next cure on our list is pickled sheep's eyeballs.
Again with the sheep?
Yep. During the time of Genghis Khan, Mongolian folk just scoffed a couple of them for breakfast, although some preferred to mix them with tomato juice in a hellish version of the Bloody Mary.
Is there anything on this list that isn't completely awful?
How about a nice glass of milk?
That sounds better.
And soot. Milk and soot. In England during the 1800s, people believed that dropping a spoonful of fresh soot from their fireplace into a glass of milk would help them shake off the hangover.
People in England in the 1800s were unhelpful and...
I got it. Let's move on. Do you know what a lamprey is?
Isn't that a sort of sucker-faced eel that's mostly made of teeth and nightmares?
That's the one. Well, in 13th century Portugal, it was customary to treat a hangover by eating a lamprey that had been boiled in its own blood. Not to be outdone, the rest of Europe simply went with scarfing down raw eels.
Can we just get all the other terrible things on this list out of the way, please?
You mean you don't want to know how people in ancient Assyria used to drink ground-up birds' beaks mixed with tree sap? Or how American cowboys used to drink tea made from rabbit droppings? Or how in England in the 17th century they used to sell a form of hangover cure made of dried viper, ammonia, and the ground-up skull of a person who'd been recently hanged?
Oh my God!
Okay, let's try something less gory. Did you know way back when people used to try and cure their hangovers with cocaine?
The 1980s weren't that long ago.
Well, true. But I'm talking about the 17th century, when pharmacists sold a medicinal beverage called coca wine, which contained a mix of booze and extract of coca leaves. It was, by all accounts, most invigorating.
You know, this coca wine is pretty good, and I feel much better, except I think that my heart is exploding through my chest.
Oh dear.
Tune in next time for more I Learned a Thing in the Bathroom. And in the meantime, head to dollarshaveclub.com for more podcasts and a big old pile of grooming products.